know. Um, so again, thank you all so much for being here. I'm so excited to have Rodin here from BOMISpirit to make a really beautiful and powerful and exciting announcement for all of you. I'm sure you already know what it is, but welcome, Rodin, and I'm so excited to have you here on the channel to make this announcement together.
Hey guys, hey, I'm super excited to, when we started planning this, we were like super excited, like from the get. And now that we're actually announcing it, it's like, little nerves, but like really excited about it still. And I know we both like tried to get everyone in the know that this was happening, so we can all like come in together for this. But yeah, I'm very excited, very excited.
Yes, and I do want to say welcome to all the people that are watching this on my channel, that are new to the channel. Thanks for coming over here and checking this out. Let's say hi to everybody in the chat. I would love to do that real quick. I
Yeah.
see Lori, welcome in. Aleya, welcome. Catherine, welcome in. Tracy, Ashley, I see a lot of new people. Raven, and I see a lot of familiar faces. Melanie, welcome in. Hello, Wendy, so good to see you. Hello, Goddess Within. Welcome, House of Curiousness. Ooh,
I know
you're
that's a
not
really
late
cool
at all,
name. Yeah.
actually. You're not late at all. Maricela is here. We got Nelvin. Thank you guys all for being here. So this is like a super casual thing because I feel like Rodin and I are both very like natural. Like right before this, I was like thinking, should I put makeup on? And I was like, I don't want to put any stuff on my face right now. I was like, no, I'm good. And I
Yeah.
had that thought, I was like, wow, like I feel like there's something really beautiful about our energies and that I do feel like we're both very earthy in a way.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. It's funny you say that because I remember when I first started on YouTube and I was like, maybe I should try to like do makeup and stuff. And after like a month, I was like, I can't do this anymore.
Not sustainable. And I sometimes do and I sometimes don't, but today I was just like, no, I just want to be like natural and like relaxed and like this is it. Like this is what you guys are going to get. And I think that's what's so amazing about it. I wanted to start by sharing a little story of how Rodin and I met and how kind of this all came about. And we also want to share with you guys what we're so excited about, some of the cool things that we're excited about, and in the end, give you some more details. So the big announcement that we're making is that we are doing our very first women's retreat together in Sedona for the first 4 days of the Lion's Gate. So July 28th, 29th, 30, and 31. And we can't freaking wait. So when I've known Rodin for a while now, like a few years now, honestly, like
Yeah, yeah.
known about you. And my journey took me to Sedona. Like, let's make the long story short. My journey took me to Sedona, and I knew that you were living there at the time. And for me, this was like um six little more than 6 months ago. No, more like a year ago, and like 6 months back. It's been really
Yeah.
literally that long. I was actually living in Sedona. I was there for a period of 6 months, like exactly, and a lot happened during those 6 months. But I actually knew that you were living there, and I was wondering if we would ever run into each other. And I don't know why I had that idea, and I don't know why it was something that was like, ooh, like she's here somewhere, you know. And then one day we ran into each other at the funniest place ever, like at the storage unit. Remember that?
Yeah, yeah. I
I
was like in my
remember.
car in the parking lot, right, with the
Uh-huh.
teeny tiny parking lot of like three
Uh-huh.
stalls.
And I
Um,
literally was like, "Water baby."
yeah. And I couldn't see because I don't think I had my glasses on, and I was like, someone's waving at me. Like, who's waving at me? And then we came out and saw your face. I was like, oh my God. Yeah, it was crazy to run into each other like that.
There was something about I remember I had told myself because I always kind of felt that maybe because of the fact that we were both in Sedona, because of the fact that somehow I had ended up there, which was like super random for me. And I knew somehow that we were supposed to meet. But I have always felt like with this connection that it has to be allowed to like unfold however it's supposed to unfold. Like I never felt like I needed to go and like seek you out and like find you and be like, we have to meet, you know, like it never felt that way. I was like, if it happens, I think it's going to be really, really awesome. And like confirmation that like was obviously supposed to happen. And when we finally met, it was like so sweet. And I felt like that, like to finally meet you in person, I was like, oh my god, this that she's so like grounded, and she's so sweet. Like I just felt like, wow, this is like a really beautiful being, you know, it's a beautiful person. And I was like, that's amazing. Like I'm just so happy to like that it all happened like that naturally. And that's how it's been
Yeah.
literally the whole time. Like
Yeah.
we've never, you know, like we're not like, we don't have the kind of relationship where we're like on the phone all the time, like, but we are like, there's something about it that feels very like mission oriented in a way. It's almost like I feel like
Yeah.
we're both on our own individual journeys, and to find someone else who is also like, we're just kind of vibrating like at this, we're at this place I think in our lives that is like so beautiful to like kind of have this connection with someone else that's also, you know, like going through their own stuff. But then, you know, I don't know, I'm blabbing
Yeah.
now, but
No, it's okay. I
yeah.
feel the same. I totally feel the same. Because when we met in person like that, it was like, oh shit, you're moving here. I'm moving away from here. And
I
so we had like that short window to like spend time. And when we spent time, it's like we were like going to sacred sites and like, you know, being like little light beings together, right?
know.
Yeah.
That's
And
exactly
then,
what we did. I remember you were like, let's go to the ruins. And I was like, yeah, take me to the
yeah,
ruins, you know? And then we went there and like, yeah, it was crazy. So, and then you moved to Hawaii, and we've like stayed in touch, and you've always had this powerful connection to Sedona. And I've, you know, I've been getting to know her. You know, like
yeah.
I've been getting to know Sedona. And I do feel much more connected to the feminine quality of Sedona for sure.
Oh,
And
interesting.
I've always like felt, even though it's very masculine too, like very activating and like like intense energy, I feel like sort of I feel the goddess there. I really do. I have, you know, since the beginning. It's been a very like healing experience for me. It's where I had to, my dog who had like a tumor, we found this like amazing vet who like who told me that everyone else would like literally tell me to put the dog down, but she was like, I can take that tumor out. Like she wanted a challenge, you know, and she did, and it gave my dog like 6 more months of life.
Yeah.
And that
Yeah.
happened in Sedona. And it's like it's been like that for me, like just super intense and like very activating, and learning about the different vortexes and the different like spiritual energies around there. I knew, like I know now that this is just the beginning. I feel like these, like this kind of stuff, live events. This is also, I'm going to have my very first live event on June 13th, which is also going to be in Sedona, but this is the very first retreat, you know, like 4-day retreat that I'm ever like co-leading. And it doesn't feel like it's the one and only. Like I feel
No.
like to me, it's the beginning of a journey. What is your,
Yeah.
what are you feeling about it?
No, same, like exactly the same. And even, you know, when I saw you in Sedona last, you know, this crazy last 6 weeks of eclipse season and whirlwind, like timeline shifts and stuff, I found myself in Sedona for a week. And every day leading up, because I saw you my last day. So every day leading up to that, it was just getting so cemented for me that it's like the collective's ready. Like the collective's ready for this and they want this. And it's like, okay, all right, if they're ready, I'm ready. Like
And
I'm
we're
so ready
ready. Yeah,
now.
I was gonna say,
Yeah,
and I feel that too because I've always been a little bit like apprehensive about doing like live things. I'm like so comfortable behind my computer.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah,
But it's like, okay, it's time to have like the in-person connection. And I actually ended up going to um the weekend that you were there, and I had forgot that you were, that I didn't like, it didn't register that in that moment that you were actually also in Sedona at that time. You were at an event
Okay,
very
yeah.
recently,
Yeah.
and it was Earth Day. And on that Friday, I actually went to an event that was being held in Sedona that was outside with this beautiful woman. Her name was Marissa, and she's at Star Seated on Instagram. And I connected with her, and it was the most beautiful, like, oh my God, just being there. And it was the first time that I had attended an event. I mean, I had been by myself hiking and going to the vortexes and like being with Sedona on my own, but I had never done like a group event. And it was so inspiring to me. And I was like, it was what made me decide I'm going to start doing live events. It was that weekend, literally that weekend. And then we got together actually that Tuesday.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
before we had even talked about doing anything together, I had decided like I'm doing live events. And then I would love for you guys, for you to tell everyone that your experience that you had on your end, because you had a similar like realization
Oh gosh.
coming
Uh,
up to that point.
yeah. I was like, how do I make this story short? Because it's like there's so much that
Yeah.
happened.
Yeah.
Um, the beginning of April, I went to a retreat, a plant medicine retreat, and it just became so clear to me. It was shown to me how how I can best utilize like my gifts for people. And it definitely was in the capacity of ceremony and groups. And it got me so inspired, and it just got me so like driven and motivated to like get to the point where I can do it. And then literally, like not even, was it like 2 weeks? I think it probably wasn't even a full 2 weeks later, I was in Sedona. And I went to this event, this Cosmic Awakening event, that I even living there, I'd known about it, but I just hadn't made it out. And it was like, okay, I need to go. I need to go this year. I'm just gonna go. And I met so many people where they're just like, yeah, I want to like build ceremony space. Yeah, I want to build community for ceremony space. Yeah, I'm like seeing like people wearing white and like ceremony space. And I was
Yeah.
like, okay, I'm so ready. And then when I knew I was gonna see you, it just was like, it was just big light bulb. It's like I have to tell her. Like I have to tell her I want to do this. I have to tell her I'm ready for this. And I think I already knew you were gonna say yes, that you were like in, and like I
Oh
couldn't
yeah.
wait to say it to you. Yeah.
And I love that because the crazy thing, so I've been studying human design a lot lately. I've been really getting into it, and I'm a projector, and Rodin is a generator. And the as a projector, the one thing that makes that is like the strategy of the projector is always to wait for the invitation. And so like I knew like just these little nuances, you know, and then
Yeah.
you came literally to my house, and we spent like 6 hours talking where like we lost track of time.
Yeah.
And then Dawn came, and it was like, what time is it, you know? Um, but I just remember in that moment it was like, and you're like, so do you want to do it? And I was like, yeah. It felt so good. And since then we've talked about it. We've had little, meetings about it, and it's been such, just like everything else about our connection, our like the way we met and all this stuff is just like easy. And
Yeah.
it's very like it just flows. Like I don't feel any like resistance. I don't feel any like restriction. I don't feel any of that. I just feel like it is like I can breathe, and it's like, this feels like really good, you know? And so this is what tells me that this is going to be a very beautiful and powerful event for whoever ends up, showing up. So what I'm most excited about for this retreat is the fact that, I mean, obviously, like the most exciting thing is that we're running it, and I've never
Yeah.
done that before. Even though we've had the capacity and capability to do it for a long time. It's just you're just not ready until you're ready. So one
Yeah.
of the things that's so exciting to me about it is like it really is, for me, from in my own personal experience, it's like the culmination of literally 14 years in the making. Like, not even joking. Because right now I'm going through a transition in my progress chart where my moon is about to switch out of the sign of Sagittarius. So it's like the wisdom, I've been seeking so much wisdom for the last 2.5 years, but now it's time to like put it to work because my moon, my progress moon, is about to move into Capricorn. And in the progress chart, it's a 14-year cycle, like 14 years before there was a new moon that happened. And for me, it happened in the sign of Cancer. And 14 years ago was the very first time that I went to a ceremony, a plant medicine ceremony. And I had like a like blast, like open, like I was just blasted open. And since then, it's been this journey of discovering sacred ceremony, discovering how to connect with spirit, discovering who I am, discovering my gifts, discovering my music, discovering my voice, discovering that like I don't want to work for somebody else, that I really need to just like do my own thing, discovering like going through my Saturn return and like in
Yeah.
Scorpio, you know? So all of that happened in that 14-year period. And so now, also because that moon in Capricorn has a lot to do with business, like the business side of everything, it so fits that of course I there's a blooming happening naturally for me
Mhm.
in these next, like starting literally this month and moving into the next 2.5 years. It's like this is why I feel this is the beginning of like something really powerful, and that's what I'm so excited about. And just to be able to like share everything that I've learned, not just in the last 14 years, but like all the realizations and all like the wisdom that I've gained just from observing myself and observing myself throughout my life and like learning about my childhood and like doing inner child healing, like all of it is really coming together. That's what I'm excited about. What are you most
Yeah.
excited about?
It's so much of the you know, we've had like such similar paths, right? Even if they've had like very different like details going on, right? For me, like I'm definitely in this period of expansion. Like my 10th house is going through like so much of all this like Piscean stuff. And then also my progressive moon is in Pisces right now. So it's just like it's just expanding that even further. But to be able to finally share with people in these magical moments where we're doing a lot of work for ourselves, but also collectively and also for Gaia, it's exactly what I've been wanting to do for so long. And you know, kind of same thing, it's like I've had to go through a lot of things to get ready for this, right?
Yeah.
Even like indirectly, not even intentionally being introduced to what sacred ceremony feels like, you know. And I've told you, like working with like psilocybin and things like that, where it just kind of naturally becomes ceremony, and it just there's just a natural flow to it, and I play a natural role in it. And it's like every time that kept coming up, it's like I knew deep down like that's something I need to be doing, but I just wasn't ready. And then this year, it's just like you said, like expansion, realizing it. Like I've been preparing for this, even though I didn't know I was preparing preparing for this, and it's just time. And like you were saying before, it's not going to be the only one. Like I know it's not. I know it's not going to be the only one. I've already gotten like locations and stuff like given to me, and I'm like, okay, I'll just remember that and like hold on to that for like when the time's right, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm just so excited for so many reasons,
I
but
know,
it's always
I
like
know,
the truth.
I know.
Yeah,
And it's also like kind of like not scary or anything like that, but it's like exciting. It's like an excited nervousness that comes with something coming to life like this.
yeah,
And so we have, like I said, come together and gone through what do we want? What do we want this to be? What is the inspiration behind this particular event? And we knew, we both really, it's funny because we both kept getting like kind of like the same ideas coming through.
yeah,
And the biggest theme that we wanted, that we both received was Lionsgate. um Definitely like sometime in the summer, and then it was like Lionsgate came out. And I would love for us to explain what is like Lionsgate in our own words.
Mhm.
And so, Lionsgate to me, I have studied a lot of the ancient Atlantean initiatic path, and this is what I teach in the Moon Goddess training. We do like a 9-week long journey through the temples, the ancient temples of Egypt, and they take us through these powerful initiations. And in the end, we end up at the Pyramid of Giza and the Sphinx, basically. And we
Yeah.
all know that the Sphinx, I hope you guys by now know that the Sphinx is much, much older than the history books say it is, and things and on and on. But in ancient Atlantean times, the Great Atlantean Year began when the star Sirius, who many people know it as the dog star, um, or the Great Mother. To the ancient Atlanteans, she represented the Star Mother, goddess Isis. And when Sirius rose with the sun, that's when the Great Atlantean Year began. And so there was like a time that was celebrated. There's also this beautiful alignment of the three pyramids and Orion's belt and the constellation of Orion. Now, I am like a major, I have my necklace here. I don't know if you guys can see it, but I am like a major Orion starseed. I have my necklace and I literally wear it like all the time. I can't take it off. And when I'm watching the stars at night, I'm just like, Orion. Like, I just feel the connection to Orion. And so when it makes perfect sense to me that I was drawn to study ancient Atlantean philosophy and wisdom. And so now that's what I know about the Lion's Gate, is that it is a portal and it has connections to goddess Isis, the Great Mother, the alignments to those powerful stars. And there's more, there's more. You can go deeper into the rabbit hole, but for me, that's what the Lion's Gate is really about. It's like the celebration of the Great Mother, the goddess, the lioness,
Yeah.
the lioness, and yeah. But I'd love to know what is your like definition of the Lion's Gate?
I
What
look
is
at
it?
it to me, I look at it as a portal of time where we can receive empowerment and activation. And we have that excuse me, we have the accessibility to connect further with our star families and also anchor so much more light during that time. It's a beautiful, beautiful window. And for this year, that date 7/31 just like was like being pounded in my head even before we hit 2022. And I was like, okay, that's gonna be a massive day. Okay, massive day. So for those who don't know, on 7/31, Uranus goes exact conjunct the North Node in Taurus. Uranus is an activator. It's just, and the fact that it's going to be conjunct the North Node, that is activating our paths, our destiny, collectively speaking, as far as anchoring new foundations and new value systems. And what better way to do that in Sedona that has these connections to Atlantis, and to the star system in and of itself. It's just, yeah. So that's that's what it is to me. And I know you and I talked about Lemuria and how Lemuria and Atlantis, there's like a weaving
Yes.
that's happening. So I didn't get a chance to tell you this, but I'll say it right now. When I was at the retreat, I was recently in Maui, and that whole trip was just confirmation, like further confirmation of just like what I'm here to do. And also a lot of memories were coming in for myself. And I was basically like being shown how I'm a bridge, where it's like I don't have strong origins within any of these places, but it's more like I was around. So like I was around and kind of like stopping by, we'll say. I was transient. We'll say that. I was transient. Like the
Mhm.
memories they were showing me. And they're like, so you need to act as a bridge for a lot of these energies, which is why I do go around traveling incessantly and just like
Yep.
just anchoring light everywhere.
Mhm.
And Sedona is like the perfect place for that. It's the perfect place for that, for all those connections and all of those vortex locations. Um, and I'm going to try
Yeah.
really hard not to ramble right here. But for those of you also who don't know, Sedona also has connections to Egypt through Atlantis. Uh, so
Go
if you
on.
go around, and this was made very clear to me that when I was on this trip right before I saw Jai, we talked about doing this retreat. And so it was made clear to me like where these old statues and temples are in Sedona of Horus, of Isis, of Ra, of Sekhmet. And it was like, oh my God, this makes so much sense. And Bell Rock is really special to me personally, like very special to me. It is where I am personally anchored into Sedona. So when I go to certain places, I get anchored in, and Bell Rock is one of them. And this woman, her name's Thunderbeat. She's amazing. She's awesome. Check her out. She was the one who came to this knowledge, and she's the one sharing this information. And she takes us out to Bell Rock, and she's like, so you can see it kind of looks like a sphinx, but it's not quite a sphinx. It's a lion. And I was like, oh my God. And then she goes, it's called Lion's Gateway. And I was like, oh my God, that's the perfect place. Yeah, so Lion's Gate. I kind of rambled there, but you know.
No. That was amazing. Actually, I'm going to add on.
Go ahead.
Continue you're the ramble. No, but so one of the things that many people don't know about the Sphinx in Egypt is that the Sphinx was actually a lioness. Like it didn't have the head of a pharaoh. And you can tell, I mean, like logically you look at it and the head is like tiny and the body is like huge. It makes no sense at all why they would make a tiny head on a giant body of a lion.
Yeah.
What they did was they carved down the original head of the lioness into the pharaoh's head of the time because he wanted to be like, it's going to be my head, you know, like this is what they did. You shall carve my face on this thing. I don't know if you guys do that, but it was originally a freaking, not even a lion, a lioness.
That makes so much
sense.
She
was the protector of the pyramids, which three of them point straight up to Orion's belt. And she was facing the constellation of Leo, the lion. So she was the protectress of the portal of Orion. And the portal of Orion is the portal to the ninth dimension, which is God, like the cosmic mind, the cosmic mother. It is like where where everything comes from. It is the connection. And when you look at it, and I've studied this with Matthias de Stefano, for anyone that wants to dive into the rabbit hole, go find him and start studying. But this is also what I teach in the Moon Goddess training. But the portal of Orion is actually, it's like a spiral. And if you follow like the space in between the stars, it points you directly to the point where that portal is. And it's like the center of the universe. And so the Orions are the guards, sort of like the keepers of that portal, the portal of Orion. And the Atlanteans, in this world, in this third dimension, they knew this information because the Arcturians and the Lyrans and all those beings actually came to Earth and they helped to seed humanity. And they had these initiatic paths, and they basically came up with the initiatic paths because it was their way of like training like their high priests and their high priestesses. And the Atlantean community, the Atlantean like civilization, was actually a matriarchal civilization, and Atlantean energy is actually very masculine. So like to have like an initiatic path, like where you go from like temple to temple, that's very masculine, but it all held the energy, and they taught like the feminine like wisdom. And so they were in essence balancing both, like the yin and the yang. And the Lemurians were also alive during that time. The Lemurians are older than the Atlanteans. They came first, but they were so sensitive beings. They still are. And a lot of us have Lemurian starseed connections in our chart. And when you have those connections, or the Lemurians themselves, they were so sensitive that they needed to live in places that were farther away from like the rest of the world, because they were so sensitive that like even just like the intense emotion of a human being would like disintegrate them. You know, like they were like that sensitive. And so then you hear about like Lemurian seed crystals where they seeded all of their information, almost like the Lemurian seed crystals are Akashic connections to the ancient Lemurian wisdom. And that's why crystals are often considered like powerful connections to the Lemurians. Like people that work with crystals, that are drawn with crystals, tend to have like Lemurian connections. And we discovered when we were talking that I have this very powerful connection to, and everything, the way I teach and everything, it's very Atlantean. And then we
Yeah.
discovered that you have this powerful connection to ancient Lemuria. So it's almost like these two energies through us, like are being channeled through us and kind of coming together. So it is like the masculine and the feminine energies like coming together. So I think that that's something that is also so like so incredible about what we've been discovering about just working together in general.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And the vortexes. The vortexes. I mean, and the hikes, and the fact that, like, you know, what you just mentioned about the actual physical split place, or like physical structure of Sedona itself basically resembles all of basically resembles all of those sacred um places, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, when you said that, something like tapped my drum. Just as you said that, that's why it startled me. Sorry.
I saw that. I heard it and I saw your face. This is
Yeah.
what life is like for us.
Oh, totally. Totally.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So that's what the Lionsgate, I mean, well, that we really both went like so that's what the Lionsgate is really the inspiration for this entire event, this 4-day event. And within the event, we both have like many gifts that we would love to share. And so I would love for us to share some of the things that we're gonna be like doing together. So I am going to be guiding us. We're both going to be kind of guiding the group through conversations and talk about different topics. For example, we really wanted to bring um, the topic of ancestry and connecting with the ancestors and honoring the ancestors. That's something that we both feel very passionate about. We both learned a lot of things through lineages that have a lot of ancestry. You know, like
Yeah.
native ancestry. We both had, you know, the opportunity to like basically immerse ourselves in these ancient, you know, lineages. And there's also what I would like to call sort of the modern perspective of ancestry for humanity as a whole. And that's something that I'm really passionate about as well. And I'm going to be bringing forth the wisdom that I've received about like the ancestry of humanity beyond like just individual like race or culture, like seeing a bigger picture of the ancestry of humanity as a whole, all of us together, all cultures, all races, like everything together, like humans as the embodiment of the beings that live on the earth. Like being like, we are earthlings. You know what I mean? Like we are from this planet, like this is our planet. So bringing that perspective into me, I feel is very important, and is something that is super important as we enter into the age of Aquarius. As we transition into the age of Aquarius, it's about, you know, finding our individuality, but also finding the connection between all of us. And I think that's one of the keys. So that's one of the things that I'm going to be talking about. I'm also going to be sharing sound healing, my music, Kundalini yoga. We're also going to be talking about astrology, and there's some really powerful, I don't know if we want to share them now or not or what, but I discovered that there are some pretty crazy astrological things going on during that time as
Yeah.
well. And we'll be talking about that as well and the significance of that. And let's just say the Sirius energy, the Sirius star, the Sirius like star seed markings in the chart are going to be like super highlighted during that time. And just bringing more, like opening up more of the door to connect to our star beings, right? So we're going to do stargazing as well. And what are some of the things that you're going to be sharing?
Well, talking about the ancestors, right? Part of my time, actually, even well before I lived in Sedona, when I first started going there, the spirits, the ancestors of the land, like were coming to me, like when I first even went there. And I mean, the first time anybody goes to Sedona, there's going to be some stuff that happens. Like if you haven't been there yet, don't be surprised if your world gets turned upside down, like when you go.
Mhm.
That was the first real big confirmation that I received in interacting with the spirits of the land there of, oh, I don't just see spirits. I can do things for them. I can help release them, and I can work with those energies. Like I'll never forget, there was one night I got woken up because there was a line of women like at my bed, like wanting to talk to me. And I was like, oh, this is kind of a lot. But they were all women. They were all women, and they all lived in the
Wow.
area at the time. Anyway, sorry, coming back. So you guys know how I am. I go off on all my little stories. Um, so one of the things I'm going to be talking about is the history of the people there, the real history of the people there, and their knowledge and awareness of galactic beings, and them continuously like working with them. And believe me, they're still there. They are still there. And so that's going to go hand in hand with the ancestor talk, and also we will be visiting sacred sites, one in particular that I'm super excited about. But so that's one big thing. I'm also going to be doing shamanic drum journeying for the ladies who come. And we're going to have like evening circle, but I'll be doing at least two drumming journeys. And if any, sometimes we like to do things on the fly. So if anything else happens, anything else happens. But to the lower world, and I will be doing a middle world journey as well. And I'll be offering breath work to get us really more grounded and in tune with our bodies, and especially with the womb space for the ladies on the retreat. Galactic talk. That's like, those are the biggest things. Those are the big things that I'll be doing on this retreat. I'm very
Oh,
excited for the journey. You
I
guys
know.
have no idea.
I know. So Rodin just bought herself these beautiful drums, and I can't wait to like be in the presence of you playing them. I think it's going to be so powerful. I'm really excited. Yeah, and then there's also going to be, I don't know if I mentioned sound healing. I did mention I was going to bring my music into it. And also we're going to be doing vortex hikes. So a lot of pretty much everything is going to be outdoors. So that's something to keep in mind, is that it is the summer and it is hot, and we are going to be doing in the morning. Usually we're going to try to kind of stay away from the heat, from the main heat of the day. So we'll always be breaking in the middle of the day for lunch or whatever, resting, all that stuff. But in the mornings, usually we're going to be doing kind of like the strenuous kind of hiking, exploring the outdoors. And then in the evenings, we'll be gathering together and kind of doing more of like a stationary, we're just going to stay in this spot for the remainder of the time and do all of the activities in that spot. But at the very end, something that I'm really excited about, we are going to do a ceremony. I'm going to be guiding and leading a ceremony, and obviously co-created with you. And it'll be the integration, the kind of collecting ourselves, the culmination of this beautiful event, and it'll culminate also with that powerful conjunction with the North Node and Uranus. And so I'm really excited to bring that part of me is ready to come out. Is ready
Yeah.
to come out. So I'm so excited about that. Those are some of the amazing things that we're going to be sharing. And to give you a little bit of a, you want, we should share the page.
Yeah, let's do it.
Let me do a little screen share, and I got to get it set up for a second. But I just want to show you guys, because I know some of you guys are asking already in the chat how to sign up. I kind of had an idea that we'll probably get a lot of interest. But I want to give you a little sneak peek, and there's a reason why we are releasing the official sign up page on the 20th of do you want to talk about that, the what's going on the 20th a little bit while I get this up on the screen?
Oh, you mean astrologically speaking?
Yeah.
I don't
Oh.
remember.
Well, then I shall share with you the crazy-ish that's going down on that day. So I'm gonna change. I'm gonna switch over to the other screen, and in the other screen they'll be able to hear you, but they won't be able to see you just while I'm sharing.
Okay.
And then we'll come back when I'm done sharing. If my laptop wants to cooperate. Oh my God. This is hilarious. My laptop literally just ran out of batteries.
Are you serious?
This is hilarious. Yeah, it literally. Okay, so apparently that means no.
Yeah.
But I can share with you the actual information that's on the page. That is so hilarious. Okay, so they really want you to have the visual on the 20th. Okay, here's the reason why this is important. So the main thing that's happening this week, Darcy's like, LOL, yeah, that was hilarious, is that the sun is moving out of Taurus and entering Gemini on the 20th. And that's in itself is like kind of we're switching seasons, right? So astrologically it's a big deal. The energy is going to shift from whatever, the dense fixed earth to like the mutable air. But what was the secret of why I feel like it's such a powerful day is because at 0 degrees of Gemini is the star Alcyone. And Alcyone is the main star on the Pleiades. And so it's a powerful Pleiadian portal. And that is that portal, the energy of the Pleiades. If you guys have ever had experiences, I don't know if you've had experiences like channeling the Pleiades, but they are like the most loving, light activating frequency. They are connected to ancient Lemuria, and then every time I think of the Pleiades, I often think of like dolphins, like a bit like kind of like water energy, but light energy, but like water energy too. Just love, like compassion and love, and because at that same time Mercury is retrograde right now, and he's like, so they're doing this thing with the sun.
Yeah.
And exactly on the day where the sun enters 0 Gemini, Mercury retrogrades into 0 Gemini. So they're both like, boom, like on this Pleiadian like Stargate. Like it's just crazy. So this is about enjoying your life. This is like the Pleiadian frequencies, love, it's joy. I feel like they rule the 5th house, which is the house of creativity and fun and the inner child and just being you. So I feel like that's a really cool, somehow the 20th, this always happens like this. It always, every time, I don't know if it happens to you, but for me, it's like every time I choose dates and things like this, it just naturally is like some powerful day. And I just intuitively picked that number and didn't even think about it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
That happens to you too. So that's like, that's the cool, amazing part of the 20th.
Well, and even with the retreat, right? Like we knew 731, and even for a hot minute we were like, well, let's look at 8-8. Let's look at what's happening. And we were both like, no. Like we both knew like no, energetically something's not like right. And then when we were like, okay, let's work backwards, we didn't even realize it until after the fact, right? Like each day there's like something major.
Yeah. Should I tell them?
No, tell them.
Okay. Tell them. So what's actually happening is on the 28th is actually a new moon in Leo, which somebody was asking, like, I thought Lionsgate was on 8-8. And it is, but that's like the strongest sort of, that's where it like gets the strongest. But usually the portal really is in between the new and the full moon. I feel that, intuitively feel that. That's why this is the portal. It's opening up and we're like taking full advantage of like these 4 days of the portal opening up. And what I realized after we had decided on the dates, of course, is that there's a new moon in Leo. So that's like ancient Atlantis and ancient Egypt, connections to both of those, the Sphinx, all of that. It's also on that day, the next day, no, actually the same day, we are going to have a Jupiter retrograde. I remember we were looking at that. So that's interesting too. We're still trying to like like receive message from the meaning of that Jupiter retrograde, but I think I don't feel like it's, yes, go.
Well, with Jupiter retrograde, I always feel like it builds like immense energy. It's like it's like a huge intensifying of internal energy that's like waiting to become kinetic, right? When you, it's like you have potential energy moving to kinetic energy, and it's gonna be in Aries, so it's like it's gonna build the internal fire like crazy when we move into Jupiter retrograde. But that's just what I was getting with that. But
No, I
yeah,
love that. And I 100% like feel that as well. And then the other thing I realize is basically as the moon continues to transit through the sign of Leo through those 4 days that we'll be together, it will be making a conjunction to the Regulus star, which is the star found at the heart of the lion in the Leo constellation.
yeah,
So we're going to have, and Regulus is also connected to Archangel Raphael, who is the angel of healing. So, like, yeah, expect like, and it, like, don't come thinking that it's going to be just some chill, relaxing retreat. It might be for some people, but I think it's going to be more activating than anything else because of all of these things. And the grand finale, well, of course, we've talked about that North Node conjunction with Uranus on the Sunday. But on the 29th, which is the Friday, yeah, the Venus is making a conjunction to the Sirius star. She's going to be exactly on the Sirius star, the goddess herself.
yeah.
And I'm sure there's more like connections between all of it, but that one was the one that just like blew my mind.
Yeah.
Like, wow, this is just wild.
Yeah.
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 Does anybody have any questions? We haven't even been looking at the chat. I've just been
I know we've been
glancing at
so
it.
like in it. Right?
I know. But if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask. I can kind of share a little bit of what I was going to share on the page, and you'll get to see it on. So the link will be available on the 20th. And so if you're watching this video before the 20th, just come back to the video on that day, and the link will be there. And I'm going to be sharing it also like on my Instagram and stuff at Channel for Grace. It'll all be, and on my email list and all that stuff on Friday. So that's the day that you're going to be able to start signing up, and Rodin's going to be doing the same.
Yeah.
And she's going to be also uploading this video on her channel. So if you're watching it on her channel, and if you're watching it either on the 20th or after the 20th, then the link is now ready.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And for the Instagrams, like, I don't know if some of you guys know, I have 2 Instagram pages. I'm gonna put it on both. But when you go to my channel and the description, just look, there are two Instagram accounts. And never forget to check community tab. It's really easy to like forget that's a thing. But yeah.
You're on YouTube?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll share it there as well. Okay, so let's see some questions.
Let's see.
What's going to happen if 1,000 people show up?
I can already see people like just like wandering around Sedona. Like
I'll let you answer that one. Yeah. You answer that one.
Well, we do have, you know, for sign up, we do have a limited number of people who could obviously sign up. But yeah, if you show up to walk around Sedona, I can't guarantee you will find us. If you do find us, you know, I don't know, but I don't think you'll find us. But we do have a limited number of people who can sign up.
Good. Okay. What time on the 20th? I love it. I love it. I don't know. All stuff's scheduled. Like I usually send out emails like 8 a.m. Pacific. It's usually when I send out emails, and then kind of like throughout the day, I'll be kind of like doing my posting. I can't guarantee you, like I can't tell you like an exact time. It's just on that day. I feel like I know at 8 a.m. I do send my email, so that will go out. So if you want to get it, then getting on my email list is actually a good idea. You can get on if you want to get on the email list to be able to get that email when it comes out. I don't have the link here, but if you go to my website and you can just subscribe to it on my website.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where do you stay? that's totally up to you guys where you want to stay. Everything we're going to be doing is going to be in Sedona proper or Village of Oak Creek, pretty much. So totally up to you whether you get Airbnb or you stay in hotel. But yeah, that's personal choice for sure.
Mm-hmm. So Tracy says, what is significant about July 31st? So we're going to be gathering from the 28th through the 31st, and we talked about it a little bit, but on that day, there's a powerful conjunction going on between the North Node and Uranus. So the North Node is destiny, and Uranus is like this Kundalini activating, like fiery electric, like blast. So that's how I would describe it.
I love that. That's a good way to explain it.
Another question. How many people are going? What did we cap it at?
I was just gonna say, did we say 15?
I think we said 15.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so there's 15 spots available. Well, that's a good question.
Yeah.
Do you see any other good ones?
Let's see. Is this retreat to advance? I'm just beginning to learn, but I do have dreams and can see spirits right when they are passing. It's totally up to you. If you really resonate with everything we're talking about and like there's a hardcore yes internally, then you should definitely try to come. But if you're really kind of like not feeling it, but it's like doesn't feel good to you, then I would say probably not. It's really off of your own discernment if you feel drawn to it, is what I would say.
And here's the other thing too, is so you will be there as a participant to have the experience, and we will provide the experience. So really all you have to do is just show up, and we will like totally guide and lead the experience for you, and there'll be zero pressure for you to like perform, or like, like it really is the whole, a big part of it is because it is a women's retreat, by the way, in case that was unclear. It is a women's only retreat. Sorry guys, maybe next time I'll do something with my husband, and then you know what I mean. But we are providing like the experience for you to just like receive, and that's the very feminine, that's the feminine. So you really just have to show up, and it really, like Rodin said, if you feel called, if you like feel a connection to what we're saying, if you feel drawn to this, then that means that you are vibrating, you're already kind of there, and so you probably will enjoy all of the things that we do. Yeah. Any other questions? Where are my fellow brujitas? It's hilarious. Will you have recommendations for what, Darcy? Yeah, so basically what the retreat includes, and this is on the sign up page, so when the sign up page is ready, make sure that you read the whole thing. So what the retreat includes is all of the activities outdoors, but you are responsible for, like, the retreat does not include lodging or transportation, like to Sedona and from the activities. So you just, what you do is, in Sedona is so small, like I keep having this question over and over again, so I'll just kind of answer it for everybody, is for my event on the 13th of June. But Sedona, wherever you stay in Sedona, you're gonna be close.
Yeah.
Like there is no like to be closer to the event, because we're gonna be kind of all over the place. So really, it's just like wherever you want to stay in Sedona is you're gonna be close.
Yeah.
Like so any hotel, any Airbnb, any of, like, you will be close to everything, either Sedona or Village of Oak Creek.
Yeah.
That's what I'll say. So any place is good. And then so we mentioned we're gonna be doing a lot of outdoor activities. So you want to make sure, like, we're gonna be hiking, and sometimes the hiking is gonna be like not like advanced hiking, but like, it's physical work, and like it's a workout, and you'll get hot, and like it's the summer, so you want to make sure that you feel like okay to participate in something that is all outdoors, outside. You know, you want to make sure you're prepared for that. So if you're not like an avid hiker, I don't think that's a problem, but maybe you want to make sure that you're set up like the right shoes, you know, for hiking and things like that would just make the experience a little bit more comfortable for you and more successful for you, like hat, sunscreen, all that stuff, water, like all the, you know, we'll provide like a list of recommended items to make sure that you have, but really just making like knowing that you're going to be like outdoors and stuff like that is really important. And then I would mention, I mean, we'll get into this once people sign up, but like also when we're doing like the events where we're kind of going to be sitting in one spot for a while, like a blanket to sit on and stuff like that. So those are just like the some of the recommendations.
Yeah, a little
Um,
meditation pillow probably wouldn't
yeah,
hurt.
something like
Yeah.
that. Yeah. What else we got?
And also for car, I think I did see that a couple of times. I definitely recommend getting a vehicle. So for those who've never been to Sedona, most people fly into Phoenix and it's like a couple hours away. There is an airport shuttle, but you know, it's still Arizona, it's still the desert, and there's gonna be time in between like morning and evening stuff. So if you want to be able to explore like the surrounding areas, like you'll definitely want a car. Yeah.
Everything will be, all communication will be sent out through email once you sign up. And the sign up process is you pre-register for free, but you're not officially registered until we receive your payment. And all of those instructions are on the sign up page. So when you get to the sign up page, you just pre-register, which basically just means create an account. So we can get that information. It's just email, name and email, basically. That's all it is.
Yeah.
And then once you pre-register, you're going to get an email, which will come out to you automatically after pre-registering, that gives you the link to purchase. And once we get your payment, then you're officially enrolled, and we'll add you to like a separate email list that will receive all of the emails of the event and any kind of communication that we need to have between each other. Let's see. Let's see. I love all these questions. This is fun.
Yeah, they're good. They're good. Will we all eat together? I don't see why that wouldn't happen out of a fun happens circumstance, you know, as we're all
Yeah.
taking breaks and, you know, just getting to know each other. I think that's just going to be like in the moment kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Would you suggest us to stay until Monday morning? If yes, because the event goes until Sunday evening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also because, you know, this is going to be full of very activating um, events. You're going to want to make sure that you are sleeping a lot and that you're drinking a lot of water and like taking care of yourself. So I wouldn't try to like rush in and out of the retreats, especially if you're coming from far away. So just something to consider.
Mm-hmm. Price. Do you want to answer that question?
888.
888. We kind of both came up with that number. I had two different numbers, and then I said, and also 888 came to me, and she was like, me too. I was like, okay, done.
Yeah.
So there was like, you know, channeled price 888.
Yeah.
Will you be selecting the people who will join? No, you just basically pre-register and get the link to purchase. So it's basically first come, first serve.
Yeah.
It just, the payment gets you into the event officially. And then once we fill up the spots, then we won't be sending out the link anymore. We'll let you know. Yes. Oh, here's a question. How would this event help me with my previous and current experiences, a bit traumatic, with alien beings and as a starseed channeling? Do you wanna have a go at that one?
Wait, repeat the question. Repeat it.
I don't know. I kind of slowed down the chat. So the question is, how would this event help me with my previous and current experiences, a bit traumatic, with alien beings and as a starseed channeling?
This is going to be a retreat where we're all in this together. You know, we're all in there, all in this as a group, and we are supporting one another. And also me and Jai, through all these ceremonies, are going to be watching over everybody. you know, well, one of us is leading, the other one is going to be supporting and making sure that everybody's kind of getting what they need and everyone feels safe. And if there is a moment where you start to feel unsafe, then you can just tell one of us and we can walk you through it, to get back to a place where you're comfortable.
Yeah, I mean everything, yeah, like you said, like we're going to hold sacred space and supportive space. And I would say, listen to your intuition because right away, like when I feel called to something, I know whether it's a yes or a no, like right away, you know?
Yeah.
And if you come with the kind of the open heart and you make space for yourself, for healing, being open for healing, that will make a huge difference. Like your intention coming into the retreat for what you want to
Yes.
receive out of it is going to make a huge difference and it'll actually help everybody. So I would recommend that everyone that feels called, that you kind of sit with yourself and say, what would be the most amazing experience that I could possibly get from this, or and it's not like you're setting an expectation, because that's also not good.
Yeah.
But because I always say like fly into things like with an open heart and an open mind, and with a good intention, and the trust, like trust that you will be held in sacred space, and trust that you will be safe, and really set that intention for yourself, and that will also help um, a lot. Okay, here's another one. Will there be a payment plan?
No, no payment plan.
Are you going to do yoga, Jai? So we're not going to be doing like vinyasa yoga or anything like that, but I am going to be doing Kundalini meditation, which is just seated in one spot, maybe some arm movements, but you just kind of, meditation, not like the physical. We're going to get plenty of exercise, don't worry. Plenty of exercise. 4 days of hiking. I don't think I've ever hiked that many days in a row, but I'm ready for it. I'm gonna prepare myself for it.
I am too. I honestly, in my head, I'm already like, how many hikes am I gonna start doing to get ready?
Yeah. Yes. Do you see any other ones? I'm kind of trying to go through all of this.
Let's see. I'm definitely just seeing a couple repeats.
Okay.
First come, first serve, yes. Let's see. Should we stay until, okay, yeah, that one was answered. Jai also has an epic shield of protection meditation.
Oh, yeah.
Is there a limit for how many people? 15. 15.
It's first come, first serve. The
Mhm.
hikes, okay, the hikes are going to be like intermediate. I would say intermediate for sure, because it depends on, it's hard to describe how the hike difficulty is going to be because it really depends on like every single person. Like for me, maybe a hike is very difficult and for someone else is like super easy.
Yeah.
So it's hard to say, but I would say that like we're going to be at certain times there's going to be like a couple of miles, like, you know what I mean, like maybe 2 or 3 miles. I don't think we're going to be long. I don't think we're going to do things longer than that,
No, I don't think
but
so.
pretty good. Like, you're going to be up there and sometimes there's steps and sometimes there's a little bit of like kind of bouldering. I don't want to scare anybody.
Your face. Um, and
Yeah.
and they're not going to be flat. I'll definitely say that. Like they're not going to be flat. There's going to be one that's like relatively, but it's like one out of the many. Um, so I would say moderate. I would honestly, from my own hiking experience, say moderate
The
hiking.
hikes in Sedona are not like, you're not like hiking a 14er. You know what I
No,
mean? But
no.
like it's like a definitely like 2 to 3 hour thing
Yeah, yeah.
total. Yeah.
And
So it's, yeah.
go ahead, sorry.
No, 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 go ahead.
And given like, consider where you're coming from, because Sedona is also elevated. So like for example, I'm at sea level. So and I'm gonna be going up, like it's at what, 3,000 feet, Sedona, above sea level.
Mm-hmm.
something like that. So the air is a smidgen thinner, and you'll feel it. Like if you live at sea level, like you will feel it. Um, but yeah, it's like they're not advanced hikes. They're definitely not advanced hikes.
Mm-hmm.
Easy to moderate is what I would say.
Yes. That question is funny.
Wait, which one?
Are you planning another retreat this year? Just let us get through this one.
Yeah, let's see how this one goes first.
Let us get through this one first, and then we'll tell you.
But honestly, given how crazy this year has been, I wouldn't be surprised if by the end of 2022 there's already going to be another one. I wouldn't be
Oh my
surprised.
God.
Not
Yeah, I think we
guaranteed.
both felt like this was definitely the beginning of something, not like a one and only time event.
Yeah.
Um, no sandhills like at the beach.
Oh,
Wendy, that's hilarious.
no sandhills. Oh
Not
wait,
something
yeah,
like that.
no. I mean, you're gonna be walking on like rock or like dirt, like. And when I
So,
say rock, I mean like
yeah.
giant like rocks, and just not like itty bitty gravel.
Mm-hmm. How soon would you expect everyone to pay? So it's first comes, first serve. So once the 15 spots are filled, then we're gonna close the enrollment. And I think we're good. Is
Yeah.
there anything that we missed? Can you do a lock-in? Oh, no, you don't want to camp on my land. My land is like 3 hours away from Sedona. Although one day we will totally do that, and I can't wait for that. And we'll have events like on the land because we're closer to the petrified forests out there. But I mean, if you wanted to, you could camp in Sedona.
Oh
Like
yeah, yeah. They
do
have good
that
campus.
too. Like there, yeah, there. That's another option for you guys. If you want to really do the whole outdoorsy thing. Um, okay, I think we are good.
Yeah, I
So
think so.
yeah, so thank you guys all so much for showing up to this video. I honestly can't wait for this event. The link will be ready on the 20th, and yeah, we can't wait how it all to see how it all unfolds and who ends up like showing up. And I know that whatever happens, it's going to be perfect and beautiful. And if there's any last words you wanna share with everyone,
I did see one last question that I
okay.
think is kind of an interesting question. So somebody was asking like, because I've talked about Sedona so many times throughout the years, right? So they
Yeah.
were saying that I had mentioned like there's some like weird pockets of energy around Sedona, for like staying purposes, like sleeping purposes. Like again, totally use your intuition for that, like wherever area you feel called to. Personally, I really like Village of Oak Creek because it's like it's a little bit removed from Sedona, and then it's a tourist area, so you get a lot of people. So it's more quiet than like Sedona Central, but Sedona is also quiet in and of itself. I personally would steer away from West Sedona energetically because for me, I've had some funky stuff happen in West Sedona, but use your intuition for that, for sure.
I really like Village of Oak Creek too, but that's because I lived there for 6 months.
Yeah,
Like that's where I was based, and it does feel like a little bit more quiet. And
yeah,
then every time you go into Sedona, well, I mean, there's hikes all over from there to the other, the other parts of Sedona, but you get to drive through this beautiful scenic highway every
yeah,
time. Just,
yeah.
it's amazing. Yeah.
I won't lie, I miss the drive. I miss that. Miss that. Like
Yeah.
anytime I go in town, it's like I got to drive through the Red Rocks.
I go so no, I'm in Flagstaff, so I go down to Sedona and I always go to the very end of Village of Oak Creek because now that's where my favorite restaurant is, the Lipianes. Do you remember you guys
Oh yeah,
showed me that
yeah,
restaurant?
yeah.
I always go all the way to the end. I'm like, I go here and I just love just driving around. Like I drive around like from one side of Sedona to the other. Like I go and spend the whole day there and it's like it's small, you guys. Think like small town, like you
Yeah,
get around, you get from one side of town to the other and like with no traffic, like 20 minutes.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's really not that and that's it. And then there's like nature everywhere.
Yeah.
Um
Yeah.
yes.
So
So, thank
just
you.
depends.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
No,
Sorry.
no, 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 go ahead.
I was just gonna say, so it just depends on the kind of experience you're looking for when you like are done for the day. Like, are you looking for quiet? Are you looking to be around like people, not a lot of people, that sort of deal. Um, so yeah, there's Uptown, there's West Sedona, there's like I don't know if they actually have a name for it, but like the center of it all, like
Mhm.
trying to think of a landmarker, like where like that new age store is, like that big purple building,
Hmm.
like that area of Sedona. Like, is there a name for that?
You mean where all the shops are?
Yeah,
I mean, I feel like that's like downtown Sedona.
downtown.
If,
Okay.
if there's a downtown.
Right. I was like, I feel like that's like the nameless part of Sedona. So yeah, there's that area, there's Uptown, there's West Sedona, and then Village of Oak Creek. So again, just decide for yourselves. But Uptown and West Sedona are by far like the more touristy, like where a lot of people like to stay in their shops and stuff. So yeah, that's the lowdown.
All right. Oh, okay. Well, thank you everyone so much. And we can't wait for the link to go live. And yeah, hope you have a beautiful week and that the eclipses didn't like trample you, throw you to the ground, and make you crawl back up. I'm
Well,
totally kidding. I'm being
I was gonna
sarcastic.
say it kind of did. It kind of,
That's
for
why I
me,
said
yeah.
that. Oh my God. So if the
Oh,
eclipse has trampled you and threw you to the ground, just know that we have good news.
yeah.
This is going to be an awesome, awesome event. So thank you all. And we will see you all again very soon.
Yeah, thank you guys for coming out and super excited to see who signs up and yeah, just can't wait to get going. So
Yeah. All right. Satnam, everybody.